Hi guys, welcome to the second weekly update on our YouTube page for the Red Robin podcast. It is the 15th of November for you guys who are listening, and we've got lots and lots to talk about. We'll probably start with the main news that's happened since I last saw you last Monday. Is that Mikey Lewis has signed a contract extension with the Robins, so he's going to be at Hull Kingston Rovers until the minimum end of 2025. That's probably the icing on the cake. You know, you look at retentions, who Hull KR need to retain for the future, the long-term goal, not just the short-term goal of Hull Kingston Rovers. And I think Tony Smith's identified that. Mikey, Jordan Abdul, Rowan Milnes to some extent. Remember, he's here till 2025 as well. They're the core, they're the span of Hull Kingston Rovers, along with Lachlan Coote next year and Parcell and Jez. And if we can continuously keep that Hull-born partnership, you're going to have Jez as a starting hooker in a few years. We don't know how long Matt Parcell's going to be staying in the country. We know he's with us next season 100%, but you never know what happens in rugby league and with injuries and everything. So Rovers looking really healthy. I know Mikey, I don't know if there've been any offers, actual money offers. I know there's been rumours that maybe Wigan and then obviously the Black and Whites were trying to make out as if they was favourites to sign him. But as we say, he's one of our own, and he's come out of his shell recently. If you'd listen to the podcast, I've given him some stick, and rightly so in some senses. I think at the beginning of the season he was very poor in defence. He struggled to become a bit of a leader, and that's no criticism to the kid because he's 21 now, and you don't come into your prime as an half-back until you're in your late 20s, in my opinion. Look at Danny Maguire, the Burrows of the world, even Sinfield when they was at Leeds. They was amazing in the first few years, but then they really became established leaders in the back end of their 20s. Same as what Abdul's doing now, you know. I think him and Jordan Abdul are the 6 and 7 next year. I think Rowan Milnes will get game time, but Milnes is going to benefit from the reserve system as well. But Mikey's staying with us, you know. We're getting a pay increase. He's got options to extend, and at the moment, Mikey Lewis is going to be hopefully a one-club man. We know he's been on loan to York, but he's been with the club now since he was 15, 16. If we can keep him and see him, Jez, Abdul for the next 5-10 years in Hull Kingston Rovers colours, then that's absolutely amazing, because I do believe they can bring success to the club. If that success is what you want to build on at a top four or a few finals, maybe a trophy in the next 10 years, because I think that's what Rovers need to do. The way they're going now, we've got to set our standards a little bit higher, and I believe with them players we definitely will be. So that's the news that Mikey Lewis has signed a contract extension. He wasn't out of contract this year, it was from 2023, but he signed a 2-year extension on top of that, similar to what Ryan Hall did a few months ago. So Mikey Lewis in red and white until the end of 2025. We also have the Tenerife training camp. They haven't done that since 2018, I believe. So a bit of warm weather in December. They're going to go for 10 days. I believe or every first team member that's still involved with the club at the time, if there's been any more loan deals or dual reg, whatever you want to call it, they're going to be going to Tenerife. I think Tony Smith said what they can do in 10 days in Tenerife accumulates to what he'd probably do in a month over here. We know the weather. I'm looking outside now. It's been chilly. It hasn't been snowing or no proper rain yet in November, but you never know. Once it comes December, it gets a bit icy. The pitch might be iced over. If they wanted to do running on the streets, it won't be feasible, and they could get injuries. They can go get a bit of warm weather, chill out before the season starts, but definitely with the intense training, I believe that it's going to be tough. Tony Smith said to the Old Daily Mail that it's going to be intense. He's going to be working on his combinations, and it'll give him a chance to maybe just get that team bonding together. You know, we've got about 6 or 7 new faces. We've had a few leave, but that bond in 2021, this season, definitely showed in big games. You look at the Wigan game, the Castleford game, the Warrington quarter-final, and for them to go away, it's not a lad's holiday, you know, they're not going to mag a luff for a few days, you know, they're going to train. Yeah, they're going to Tenerife, it's going to be warm, they're going to have chilled out, they'll probably have nights out, but they're going to be training, and that is the ultimate thing. And hopefully this team bonding can really work, because come January, February, there might be new friendships, combinations might click in Tenerife, so I think it's going to be really positive for the lads to go over there. It's exciting times. Like I said, I don't think it's happened for a few years, and it does work, it does help. You've seen Leeds do it, they've gone to America a few times. I know a few of the big clubs have also done it. So obviously maybe the money from Craven Street or the money from extra getting into the final fours help to pay for this, and hopefully we can see bigger and better things, because with these training camps, like I said, a lot can be worked on. They can go into more detail, they can do more contacts, they can do outside wrestling, and so we'll see. But at the minute, we know Hull Kingston Rovers, I think it's the between the 6th and the 10th, they're going for 10 days to Tenerife, obviously back before Christmas, and then they'll have a few days off over the Christmas festive period, back in after the new year, before the season starts. We also know that the friendlies are back now, so we had one last year on the Our League app. We know that we're going to be facing Dewsbury on the 21st of January, a Friday night game under the lights at the Tetley Stadium in West Yorkshire. And then on Sunday the 30th, 9 days later, we've got Huddersfield at home. Like I previously mentioned, guys, on all my social media, I've been appointed OKR reporter for Prost, and I've actually done my own personal blog. I did a little piece on what I think the pre-season friendlies will be like, who we're going to see, what teams maybe to expect. So we know it's going to be a tough task. We're going to go to Dewsbury. We're probably going to see the likes of Greg Richards, Tom Garrett against his former club, PLT, Will Dagger, Jimmy, them type of players, going to be playing more minutes against the Championship team, where I imagine against Huddersfield it'll be the strongest possible squad because they're Super League opposition. They'll be putting their strong squad out. They've signed a lot of players, haven't they? Lola Heyer, Chris Hill, Nathan Mason from Lee, so they're going to be a bit stronger next year, I believe. Huddersfield's second season under Ian Watson, so he'll be looking to improve, and it's a chance that we can actually see the friendlies as well, so I'll be going down to both games. I'm looking forward to the Tetley Stadium one. Nice Friday night drive to a ground that we don't really go to often. I went in 2017, there was a big following there. I don't know if there'll be many because it's a Friday night, but I'll be looking forward to it. I'll be doing reports on it like always, and the podcast will be there doing more content on here. So the 21st of Jan, Rovers play away at Dewsbury in pre-season 1, and on the 30th of January, a few weeks before the season starts, we are playing Huddersfield Giants at Hull College, Craven Park. On the YouTube page, I don't know if anyone saw it, it'll be underneath this video now. Chris actually did a chat with Chris Berry. He is Ulkingston Rovers fan, about his new book and about his love of Ulkingston Rovers. Really good in chat. I wasn't involved in it. I had a few work commitments, and obviously I'm doing this on my own, and Chris is doing a few interviews on here as well. We're a bit more lenient with time if we just do it on our own, but obviously once the podcast comes, we'll still be doing it together. We're not splitting up yet. We're not like Liam and Noel. So yeah, it was really interesting to chat to Chris Berry. I've listened to it on the way home from work, and Chris did really well. It was good to chat about how he started his sons playing rugby, how he loved the days of Gary Prom and Fairbairn, and talks about that. He had a really wide knowledge of Ulkingston Rovers, so that's on our YouTube page as well, guys. Chris's chat with Chris Berry, so you've got double Chris. What could be better to listen to on a Monday evening? Good news for our podcast and our Heritage Cast. It was announced last week. Kev Larroyer is going to be joining us, the French international. Played for Rovers on loan in 2014 and then made 2 years as a permanent Ulkingston Rovers player in 15 and 16. Very similar to James Green. He's going to be talking about his mental health. He's going to be talking about his education, coaching. I believe he's a coach at East Hull under 10s or something now. He's got a degree. I think he was doing his masters as well in education. He works for Rugby League Cares, so it's not all going to be about Ulkingston Rovers and growing up. He's had a tough upbringing. He spoke about that, and I think he wants to speak about it all as well, so we're going to let Kev speak as freely as he wants, and it's going to be a really interesting chat. That's going to be on the live stream. So same as always, guys, it'll be at 8 p.m, the live stream on YouTube on Wednesday the 17th of November, and then it'll be on Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, as always. Same as James Green one the day before. And on the subject of James Green one, it's only been out a few weeks. We've already got like 750 hits on YouTube and on all our other podcast outlets which we can see. So again, thanks for that, guys. We really appreciate it, and keep up the good work, keep sharing, because we're going to bring you lots more content during the off season. Remember, we're going to get George Lawler and Adam Quinlan on in December. George and Grace have obviously just had a baby, so congratulations to them with baby Winnie that's been born. So we're going to give them guys a few weeks to get settled before George is going to come on the show. And Adam Quinlan's obviously moved back to Australia, like I mentioned last week. So Quinlan and Lawler will be back on in December doing a stream with us. On Wednesday this coming week, Kev Larroyer will be on. So if you can't make the live stream, guys, still share it, let people know. But if not, it'll definitely be on our outlets. The bonus of the live stream is obviously we can ask live questions. You could interact with Kev Larroyer as well, because I know he really enjoyed his time in East Hull and really connected with the Rovers fans. He was a really underrated player when we signed him, ended up playing at Wembley, all stuff like that. So there's loads to chat about, and that'll be really interesting for me, Chris and Kev. We have had a few outgoings at Ulkingston Rovers at Craven Park. Liam Carr, you guys might not know Liam Carr, he's an academy player. featured for the 19s. He's left the academy. I don't know the situation. I don't know if he got offered a contract or anything, but he's going to be playing in League One. He's signed for Hunslet, so he's going to be having a bit of first team action there. He's left the club permanently. He's joined on a 1-year deal, I believe, to the West Yorkshire side, who play, funnily enough, ironically, at the South Leeds Stadium. So West Yorkshire team in the South Leeds Stadium. And that'll be really interesting to see how he goes, because obviously it didn't work out for him at Hull Kingston Rovers, but we wish him the best of luck. And Tom Whur, a player who is still contracted to Hull Kingston Rovers. In my blog, I thought he'd be part of the reserve system. I did mention that he probably will go on loan, and that's exactly what's happened. Him and Will Tate played a few games last year at the Manchester side Rochdale Hornets. Will Tate is still involved with the club. We don't know what's going to happen with him yet. I imagine, he'll be in the first team a little bit more regularly this year. But Tom Whur, prop forward, a young, hungry prop forward, he's going to spend the 2022 season fully on loan at Rochdale. This is great. I put it on the Spotify and the social media pages, and for me, for prop forwards, this is better than going into a reserve system, especially Tom Whur, who's experienced at first team level. He's been training with the first team for a few years now. He's going to be playing in League One, a very physical competition, playing some really good sides, and that'll bring his game on massively, because he won't be doing much skill-wise, but he'll take some hits and he'll be able to get that physicality up, because he needs that in Super League. League One and the Championship, it might not be the most skillful, but he's definitely a bit more physical. He's a bit more lenient with the referees, so he's going to go. He'll be playing blokes who work on a building site and then want to knock 10 bells out of each other on a weekend. So Tom Whur is going to ply his trade in Rochdale next season. We wish him all the best, because it's going to be a good challenge for him, and then he'll come back stronger in 2023. He's only a young kid. He might go on loan again next year. He might sign another deal, and he might be in the long-term project. He's another Hull-born kid, same as Mikey, same as Jesse, same as Abbo, but Tom Whur is going to be going on loan to the Rochdale Hornets, and like I mentioned, Liam Carr is leaving the Reds, and he is signed for Hunslet from Hull KR's under-19s. Going a little bit away from rugby league, as such, we obviously have followed the story of Rob Burrow, an absolute hero, legend of the game, and the MND Fund, the motor neuron disease. We've seen all the fundraisers, we've seen everything going on, but it's just lacked a bit of funding, and the government have announced that due to the hard work of him, Doddy Weir, there's been ultimate amount of people who have done it. And you look at Kev Sinfield doing the 7 in 7, he's doing the 120 mile challenge from Leicester to Leeds for former teammate, and they've actually been given 50 million. It was heartbreaking to see his dad on BBC Breakfast crying his eyes out, for his son. It's awful to watch. What horrible, nasty disease, and I hope this 50 million goes towards it, because if we can find a cure, it could save so many people. And Rob and Doddy Weir and everyone involved in MND and the people around his family, Lindsay and his kids, they'll be buzzing with this now, and so we. And me and Chris are definitely behind Rob. Everyone else is at the club. You'd look at that mosaic they did to put Rob Burrow. What club would have put a bloke scoring in a 50-0 Challenge Cup final defeat if they didn't mean that much to him? He's an absolute hero of the game, just because of his stature. Growing up, he was my idol. Put a photo on with him, because I was a bit of the opposite. I was real tall than everyone, and he was smaller than everyone when I was growing up, and I messaged him and said, how do you get over it? And he replied to me. I've got my letters still from him, so he's definitely a hero, man, and I wish Rob all the best with his fight against MND, and we pray every day that this cure gets sorted soon. But well done, that 50 million secure. Keep raising money for him, guys. Keep the recognition up, because him and his family definitely deserve it, and let's hope we can end this nasty disease. Moving on to a bit more of a positive subject. Obviously, it's great that the funds come in and the 50 million, but obviously it is a bit of a sad subject. Finally, is that Hull Kingston Rovers, the academy's having like a player welfare officer. Bit of a mess up from some of the Super League pages and the newspapers. They said it was Paul Cullen, the former Warrington boss, and he was going to be involved. It's not. It's Paula Cullen. It's a woman, Paula Cullen. I don't know much about it. I think it's great. How many times do I go on about my playing days? And I'm glad Chris isn't on, because he rags me. But when we was there, the City of Hull happened. Some of us lost our jobs. It was rubbish. We didn't have no one to talk to. That mental health and everything like that. Even though it was 6-7 years ago, it wasn't as big as it was now. And these kids, the teenagers, they're going through stuff. The changes, the bodies changes, they're turning into pros. The mates are going out and they're having to sacrifice so much. And we mentioned before, rugby ain't got the best finances in it, especially at a young age, and it's tough. You know, their mates have got apprenticeships, and at the time, it's like, oh, they're earning more money than us, and I'm a pro player. But this player welfare officer will be great, someone to chat to. I think it's the first for a Super League team, so they're doing everything right, Hull Kingston Rovers. The good news keeps on coming. So Paula Cullen's going to be working with the under-19s and 16s. Obviously, Ben Lazenby, Jason Neverton, they're in charge this year, so get down to some games, and hopefully we can see some positive results. So best of luck to Paula Cullen, and hopefully the boys benefit from it, because it's going to be really influential for them, especially if things aren't going right on the field. Pardon me. And finally, well, I'm doing this at 2:30. The away kit sneak peek was announced at 10 a.m. this morning. It is going to be predominantly yellow, gold, blue. It's going to have the City Council building on it. I imagine a mosaic on the back. I've seen a few snippets. I don't know. Like I said, kits don't really bother me. It might be a beauty. You never know. It's not announced yet while I'm recording this. So the kit's going to be announced. Obviously, we've seen the home kit with Lachlan Coote. We don't know who's going to be doing the promos. We don't know when it's going to be announced. The only thing I would say, Rovers have put it on for pre-order, and people don't know what it looks like. 50 quid, 38 quid for juniors, and they're not giving a preview yet. It's like, I won't put it on pre-sale yet, but I imagine the Rovers faithful, some of you will have probably already bought it, because that's what you do. You get behind our great club. But the away kit is going to be out. I don't think they're using the manned kit again this year. I think that was just for 20 and 21. So maybe we'll get a special kit midweek for Magic Weekend or for the Derby, whatever, I don't know. I'll tell you what would be a good shirt to do, a Mossy Masoy one, because obviously he's gone home now, but that's just my thoughts. I don't know if there's anything in the pipeline. But yeah, the away kit should be out in the next few weeks, so we will see. It looks like it's yellow, gold, and the blue navy badge, which we've seen with the new Robin crest. So yeah, that is probably it from me, guys. Obviously, we've been speaking for about 17 minutes now, so a lot's happened. So we spoke about the Tenerife training camp, Liam Carr leaving for Hunslet, Tom Whur going on loan to Rochdale, Chris's chat with Chris on the YouTube page, Kev Larroyer. Remember, Kev Larroyer is joining us Wednesday the 17th of November, live stream on YouTube. We'll put everything up there. It's easy to find. Keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep letting people know, because it's going really well. M&D gaining the fund. Paula Cullen becoming the player welfare officer for the academy, and the away kit, and obviously the news that Mikey Lewis is staying in Hull Kingston Rovers colours for another 3 or 4 years at least. So really positive. We haven't had loads of negative news to comment on yet, so I like doing these weekly updates. As you can see, I've got my work badge on and stuff. I'm doing it during my dinner hour, because I'm teaching most of the lessons today, most of the periods. So thanks for keeping up with us, guys, and I hope you enjoy these, and I hope you enjoy the content. If you want to see anything more, if you want to see anything different, give me or Chris or the podcast a message. You know, we're free to talk to. We'll message everyone back, and because that's what we really like. And I am going to shave my beard by the end. I'm doing it for, well, I say Movember, but I'm doing my beard as well. I'm just going to see what it looks like. But yeah, my baby face will be back soon. Now we're doing stuff on camera, because obviously me and Chris have got a bit of a face for the radio, so that should be back soon, guys. But thanks for everything you do for us. Keep up the good work, and this has been the weekly update for the 15th of November. Up the Robins, hopefully some more news next week. See you soon, guys.